Superman, the Man of Steel, the Mr. Steel, your girl. I mean, how could he not? Look at this man. He is just the heart and soul of DC Comics. This man has dealt with the strongest villains in the universe. Well, the DC universe. But how would Superman do against the villains from the Marvel universe? Yeah, he's strong, but does his power and abilities transfer even to another universe against different gods and against different goddesses, mad titans, and god slayers? Well, that's what we're going to find out today. Make sure to stay tuned. What's up, guys? We are Danco, and we do battle arena videos just like this every single week. We're looking at new movies coming out, and even new animes and lore, and put the time in to bring you fascinating battles and hot takes on who we think is the best of the best. If you think this is dope content and you're pretty excited about it, make sure to subscribe. Also, join our YouTube membership and Discord. And today's video is brought to you by Wonder. Marvel's a totally different world than DC, but these two worlds have actually touched before. I mean, they've come in contact with one another. Superman has fought against Thor. He's even fought against the Avengers. The Justice League have taken on a lot of different people. Superman versus Hulk, even Venom. But specifically today, we're going to look at the Snyder cut of the DCEU, Superman, going up against the villains of the MCU. So is this pretty much going to be a bloodbath for all the Marvel baddies, or do they have what it takes to actually end the Kryptonian? Well, we need to get the groundwork on Superman before we can start assuming that he can take on all these baddies. We're going to look at Clark Kent. His parents placed him in a pod that ended up here on Earth. Wait a second. This is like Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, looks like you've got a tail.
Anyways, oddly enough, yeah, he's an alien. He's not from this planet. The yellow sun gives him godlike powers, not just like werewolf vibes or like vampire stuff, but like actually strength and powers like heat ray vision and freeze breath.
Why are you talking like that?
Why are you talking like that?
And he's actually even the strongest member of the entire Justice League, and he took them all on even in a fight. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. Superman being Earth's strongest hero, he's taken on Wonder Woman, like with one arm. The same person who did this. So of course she's not weak. And neither is Superman. I mean, one of the feats that's his best and strongest and craziest is one that we actually don't get to see on film, but is him shifting the tectonic plates in Earth to stop an earthquake from happening. That's insane. So if he's able to do stuff like that, like how strong is he actually? Well, Bruce said it like this. He said he could wipe out the entire race. He punches Steppenwolf through the floor, and this guy kills even Green Lantern and outmatched Aquaman and Wonder Woman in the Snyder cut. Cyborg pulling his shoulders apart and tanks an attack from Zeus and Ares. Like, Superman completely had his way against Steppenwolf. Like, literally this scene from the Christmas Story. No chance. Let's talk about his durability. This dude took a nuke. He was the epicenter of the explosion of a nuke with him and Doomsday in the atmosphere, and he just survived it. That's how strong Superman is. And finally, the last nail in all these coffins for the MCU villains is Superman's speed. It's not like, oh, that's cool, Superman's kind of fast. No, it's like, what the heck? He matched up with Flash multiple times. Even here, he freezes Aquaman, Wonder Woman, and Cyborg in his fight. These guys are fast. Wonder Woman is casually a bullet timer. So that's Superman, the Man of Steel, the Earth's finest. But what happens when you merge these two universes together? Superman shows up in the MCU or vice versa. How does he match up? A new sort of good guy slash bad guy to the scene is Namor. He can literally swim super fast and he can fly. He has little feet wings. Just a lot of trauma from that, I'm sure. This guy's blitzing people left and right. It reminds me a lot of the speed from Black Adam. Black Adam's way faster, but the cinematics happening here looks pretty similar. M'Baku is basically saying things like Namor is as strong as the Hulk. Even director Ryan Coogler says that he is as powerful as Thor or the Hulk. We don't get to see any of those feats in the movie, but that's pretty crazy if some of that stuff is written into his future. Superman still capitalizes in every category against Namor. He's not faster than Superman. He's not stronger than Superman. He's not more durable than Superman. Superman takes the win on this one pretty easy. A little while back, we did Namor versus Aquaman, and Aquaman wins that battle. You can watch it right here. Sorry for the spoilers, but if Aquaman can beat Namor, then I'm pretty sure that Namor is going to lose to Superman. because Aquaman lost to Superman. But before we go any further, do you guys remember when Superman looked like this? Yeah, probably not, because that's an AI picture made by Wonder, our sponsor for today's video. Check this out. Being a creator on YouTube and also doing some music of my own, I need doses of inspiration. Wonder's the perfect place to do that. It's an app that I actually used before they even reached out to sponsor this video, and it's pretty crazy. You can use any prompt that you want to, an idea, and see it come to life instantly. I did this back in the day. I literally just typed in Post Malone, and it made one of the craziest things I've ever seen. Check this out. So it's basically something like this. You download the app, you get into the app, it comes up to the prompt screen immediately. You can even use inspiration if you want. It drops a couple lines in there for you, but you can still customize that to make it your own. Then type in whatever you want. Here I typed in Superman, super realistic, 4K, and it came out with this, which is pretty awesome. You could do that with an array of things. I love seeing what it can do with Mario and other types of things like that. Even some of our album art from my country project. It's insane. You can become a premium member, and in doing so, you get 20 plus styles. It's faster, unlimited art, and no ad. Something that's really encouraging for us here at Danco is that we can potentially see how a fight would work out just by asking Wonder to show us what it would look like in action. Basically like this right here. Superman versus Thanos. Crazy. So like I mentioned with the premium version, today you can click this link right here and get a free trial of the premium version today to put your creativity to the test. Okay, so since everybody calls Superman a god, he has godlike powers, how does he stand against the god Butcher? Since Gorr has the weapon, the sword, the necro blade, able to take the lives of gods, I found myself watching Love and Thunder with a little bit of anxiety. I was like, don't let it touch Thor. Be careful. And so it added like this new layer of suspense and worry that I haven't had in the past. Knowing that this sword can cut through people that way brought a lot of like worry and stress. We never really get to see Gorr show his like full potential, full strength, or rage. He is upset, and it's sort of like this twisted noble cause of him trying to get his daughter back, and he's willing to expend anyone in the way to do so. It's not like this bloodlusted, crazy minded, like I'm gonna give everything I got to this. And so I guess it's thought out, so that might make it even more dangerous. But in the movie, we just don't see enough context of Gorr. Superman could just blitz Gorr and just finish him quickly, even though Gorr holds and wields the weapon that could finish Superman for good. It seems like there's a consistent thread, though, of people losing loved ones or cold-heartedness that leads them to this deep root of bitterness to really just get rid of anybody in the way to get what they want. Maybe that is the story of evil. But another person that comes to mind is Wanda, the Scarlet Witch. How would she go up against Superman? Would it be close? She's literally crumbling the world around her, trying to get to the multiverse to find her two sons. She's willing to expend anyone, even herself, in other universes to get this life. Since Wanda has similar powers, similar to Thanos, who we'll talk about a little bit later, she has the ability to warp reality and change the actual fabric that holds the universe together. She could be a real threat here. She was able to defend the 383 Professor X, one of my favorite characters from all of Marvel, and just get to see him neck snapped like that is just kind of sad. She fought with Professor 383 in the astro plane, or maybe it was just a place in their mind that they fought. It looks similar to where Professor Xavier fought against Apocalypse, but it may have been something totally different. If Scarlet Witch could get in Superman's mind this quickly, the same way she did with Professor X, it's immediately over. Like, it's done. She's even able to catch her son Tommy, who's moving at super speed here in the scene from WandaVision. Maybe that was just her mind creating this character, so she actually has bullet time as well. Or maybe he is real, since she can warp reality and things become real. So does this mean she has enough speed to at least throw an attack at Superman or attempt to crack his mind before he blitz? So I have to bring back this scene. Superman is kind of like half-minded here. He's not even in his full mind. He's just upset and angry and scared and nervous and all this stuff. He literally slow-mos the rest of the Justice League, and he's able to throw actual punches at the Flash. The Flash was able to dodge him, but the Flash even got caught up in this speed force. So is Scarlet Witch able to catch Superman off guard, attack mentally to get Superman off balance, to get inside his mind, to finish him for good? I don't know. Like, Clark Kent is fast, but if we come down to like who these people are, Scarlet Witch is a killer, right? Superman's not really a killer. We see him kill General Zod, and he's like upset about it. Wanda doesn't, and she doesn't think twice about it. And so I think that just the edge of just like the lion in her, just the ferociousness, might put her above Superman here. If you want to know more about this fight specifically, watch this video here. It's Superman versus Scarlet Witch. I think you'll really like it. Up next, we have Shang-Chi's dad. We're going to have a little family reunion. Wenwu, also known as the Mandarin. He's now over 1,000 years old. He found the 10 rings with mystical properties and then founded an army to conquer and pillage the world for a millennia. Wenwu is actually at the top of several most powerful MCU villains, forums, and posts. So, why? How can this guy be a problem for Superman? Well, basically the thing that you've been saying for years now, the thousands and millions of comments that says Superman's weak to magic. Well, if we're going to talk about strength, it's pretty impressive. Wenwu, the Mandarin, is able to do some pretty crazy things, like punch the crap out of this giant scale gate and like actually break it. Also, hits like this are pretty serious. This is a pretty eternal level of power. We don't see waves like this from Namor. Even the Legend of the Rings say that the 10 rings give him godlike powers as well as eternal life. I just don't think we're going to see Wenwu get the best of Superman here. Superman has the power, strength, ability, agility, and everything else. He doesn't have enough to really compete against Superman, but it's still a cool fight. We might actually need to do a different video about Ying Li. This girl is crazy. Do you remember this scene? This girl's talking to the wind and making the 10 rings look like a walk in the park. Well, we did talk about Gorr earlier. Let's go back to that type of theme. So we have Hela. Who is Hela? The goddess of death, arguably one of the channel's most favorite villains. And the comments don't lie. You guys talk about Hela a lot. It's kind of weird. Hela is the real deal. She conquered the realms with her father Odin as the executioner of Asgard. Then she was imprisoned in hell for a millennia by her father Odin to subdue her power. That's how strong she got. Gaining her power from Asgard, Hela was released from her prison in the wake of her father's death and went to restore her position over all of Asgard. After a few encounters with Loki and Thor, she quickly showed she wasn't playing any games. She broke Mjolnir. What the heck?
Why did you do that?
Speaking of Mjolnir, she was the actual original wielder of Mjolnir. It belonged to her. And along with Mjolnir and Odin, they built their Asgard empire through blood and conquest. And this, she easily manhandles Thor. Just makes him look like a chump. Yeah, she might have that older sibling bully mentality, but Thor's able to dish it back and she's able to take it. One of the biggest lightning strikes we ever see from Thor happens here, and it destroyed half of the castle. Like, this is huge. She's even able to wield the eternal flame of Surtur to bring back to life the fallen Asgard soldiers. And when Surtur came back, it wasn't like a big deal to her. She like went up against this dude, like wasn't scared at all. Threw huge spikes through him, actually making him stumble. For a minute, it looks like she might have the upper hand here with Surtur, or at least have what it takes to take the Titan down. Then he just winds up his huge sword and sends her deep into Asgard, just deep. And it fulfilled the prophecy to end her and really just left her with a pretty embarrassing Mortal Kombat fatality. Superman isn't a god, but in the same respects as Hela and Odin and Thor, he has similar powers as them. The DCEU hasn't really done a great job at showing how powerful and some of the best feats of Superman yet, but he's really indestructible. The only thing that can really hurt him is kryptonite. So I believe Hela's Necro Sword and spikes just won't pose much of a threat. Hela's not going to be fast enough to dodge Superman's attacks. If we all agree that Superman's faster than Thor and Loki, I think he's got the upper hand here against Hela too. Hela definitely has the edge in battle here because of her maturity. She's so much older, so much more battle than Superman's ever faced ever, that she might have a slight edge in that, but every other category, Superman just exclamation points when it compares to Hela's abilities. So Superman comes out winning this one with difficulty, but the majority of the time he beats Hela. Since we talked about him, what about Surtur, the guy that finished Hela? Can Superman finish Surtur? Well, this guy took several hits from the Hulk, like big hits, and he was staggered there and staggered a little bit when Hela hit him with her blades. Destroyed a whole realm effortlessly. That's a big deal. Here's the thing about Surtur. Yes, he can wipe out an entire city just by existing. Asgard's bursting into flames just by him being there. I love this fight. I think it's super fun. There's something great about a huge giant titan thing that has all this power and just size. But usually with stuff like this, they're just so dang slow. Like, I just don't think he has a chance to react the way he would need to react to defend himself against Superman. The two attacks that we saw against him, one when he was like smaller and less, Thor handled him before. And he wasn't like the size of Asgard or bigger. That was fulfilling a prophecy. I'm talking about that one. That's the one we're talking about. Superman fighting. He just had to tank those hits from Hulk. He had to tank those hits from Hela. There wasn't any like dodging or like parries that he was able to do. He's so freaking big. It would literally be winning the Powerball if Surtur was able to land a hit on Superman. I think Surtur does have the power to hurt Superman though. He's just too big. Like, he's too powerful and too strong. And there's a little bit of a magic element built into that as well. And who knows, man, like, Surtur's a big ball of fire. Like, so is our sun. I mean, can Superman draw energy from Surtur? Like, if he can, he's like done. Like, he gets hit with some sun and some fire, and Superman's like, that felt good. And then now he's more strong than he was like 2 seconds ago. Like, kind of not good for Surtur. Finally, let's talk about Thanos, the big dog. So Thanos did this to the Hulk. Pretty embarrassing for the Hulk. Thanos is super strong, and he is super fast and super tough. He's not like light fast, but he was putting some boxing moves, made the Hulk look dumb. He's able to tank a hit from Stormbreaker in the chest and lived from it. And before he was even hit by Stormbreaker, he was hit by a lot of lightning, like a lot. I don't think Thanos would be able to blitz Superman though. Superman's just too fast for Thanos. So even if he had the chance to, and including everything Thanos might be able to do with the Infinity Gauntlet, I still think, and there's room to talk about this in debate, I don't even know if Thanos would be able to have a thought fast enough before he just gets pummeled by Superman. You know what I mean? You got to have a thought. Sometimes that thought takes a second, and then you snap your fingers or make a motion with your gauntlet. I think Superman's already ripping your head off. So Thanos, even wielding all of the power of the universe and all the Infinity Gauntlet, I just don't think he's going to have what it takes to match up with Superman's speed. Speed just wins overall here again. And so if you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch and to hang out. We really appreciate it. Make sure to join our Discord. Also, what if Superman were to be bloodlusted? How many villains can he take on at once? Also, how do you think Superman compares up against Kang and all his powers? Let us know in the comments below. It seems like Scarlet Witch is the only one that gives him a hard day today. And so do you agree with that? Do you think that Scarlet Witch wins most of the time against Superman, or do you think Superman finishes her quickly too? It kind of comes into place with how fast can you have a thought or control someone else's thoughts. But we really appreciate you guys being here watching. Make sure to hit the like button, the subscribe button, and turn on post notifications so you can see new videos right here at Danco every single week. Until next time, we'll see you soon.